Are you thinking of doing the CFA program and not really sure what it's about? Or you're not alone, and take it from me, someone who's completed all three levels of the program. The CFA program is the most well-known program in the finance industry, but it is also the most difficult. Today, I sort of want to chat about what the CF program is about and sort of my journey through the CFA program, and hopefully it helps other people who are going through that journey as well. My name's Charlie. I make finance related videos and I like to talk about the CFA program and what my journey was like. If you like anything here or you want to know more about the CFA program, pop a comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer the question, or I could even make another video on it, which would be quite cool. So to kick off, who is the CFA program for and what is it about? So maybe just to answer this from my perspective and my journey is I always knew that I wanted to get into the investing world, but I didn't really know what it was about. I always heard about the likes of Warren Buffett, and I thought it was as simple as buying and selling shares. And until I actually started the CFA program, I didn't actually know any of that. And the CFA program sort of exposed me to the wider financial world and what it all involves, and actually all the complexities of it, and how actually it's a lot bigger than just a simple buying and selling of shares. And what I liked is that it didn't just touch the surface on what it went into, but it actually went into a lot of detail into each aspect of the finance world. And I think that's sort of what sets the CFA program apart from other programs. And if you are sort of someone who's in a similar position where you don't actually know what you want to do in the finance world in terms of like investing, I think the CFA program is definitely a great place to start, because it exposes you to all different levels of the investing world and helps you sort of decide what you like, what you don't like. What is the CFA program structure? So there are a total of 3 exams, and they get more difficult as you get through each one. Starting off, level 1 for me, I actually found incredibly difficult in the beginning, and I actually failed level 1 the first time. And after I learned my lessons from that, I retook the exam and I passed it the second time round. And then there's level 2 and level 3. Level 2 is actually the most difficult one out of all of them. There's more content than in level 1, and the questions are a little bit more difficult because it involves case studies now. And then level 3, I actually found the easiest of all 3. The content was actually significantly less. I'd say about maybe half of what it was for the other levels. And this level was slightly more different because it was no longer about the theoretical part of finance. It was more about application, how it applied to real world situations, which I enjoyed quite a lot. And recently there's actually been a big change for level 3 exams. So they've introduced the 3 specialized pathways. And I was actually the first sitting to do those pathways, which I thought was a bit nerve-wracking because there's sort of no history to go on and you don't really know what it's like, but I took it in my strides and I went with it. So those 3 pathways is your portfolio management, which is your traditional path. That was the standard one everybody took in the past, and now they've introduced the other 2 being private wealth and private markets. I chose private wealth just because I thought this was a bit more relevant to me and my everyday work that I'm currently doing. And this sort of deals with high net worth individuals and how to manage money for high net worth individuals. And I actually found that incredibly interesting. I'd actually like to still see what the other pathways are like and what difference there is in the content, but I found private wealth incredibly insightful. And I'd encourage others to look at it as well, especially if you're in wealth management space for high net worth individuals. How long does the program take to complete? So if you are really dedicated and this is all you're going to do, I think the quickest you could probably do it in is 18 months. And if you manage to do that, I can say I will be very impressed, and most people will be very impressed. But the reality is most people who are studying the CFA program are actually working at the same time. So I'd say a more realistic time frame will be 3 to 5 years. So in my instance, I did one exam a year. So that would be a total of 3 years, but because I failed my level 1, it was an additional year. So it took me 4 years to complete the program from start to finish. And the recommended number of hours for each exam is 300 hours of study, which is significantly less than what I had done. I found that 300 hours was not enough, and I found myself actually doing excess of 500 plus hours for the exams. I think just because I failed that first time level 1, I thought to myself, no, I need to try harder and I need to put more time and effort into it. And I just found myself putting more time towards it, taking longer with topics so I could understand them completely before I moved on. So if you are looking at doing the program, I would say budget at least 350 plus hours, but also be prepared to put more in. How difficult are the CFA exams? Well, I didn't actually know how difficult they were until when I was studying for my level 2 exam. I was scrolling on social media and I came across a post with the top 10 most difficult exams in the world. And right there, and roughly around the number 5 spot, was the CFA program. And I thought to myself, surely I shouldn't be seeing this right before I write my exam. So it started making me stress quite a bit. But afterwards, I went and had a look, and on every site that I searched for the top 10 most difficult exams in the world, the CFA program was consistently in every single one of the articles. So it is definitely not an easy program, and if you do get through it, you are definitely one of the smarter people. So it is quite difficult, and you are going to have to put a lot of time and effort to get through the whole program. But it is definitely worth it at the end of the day. Thank you for watching this far in the video. If you actually listened to me all the way to the end, thank you. And if you want to see more CFA content like this, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to keep making videos, and hopefully it can help other people who are in the program. And also, if there's some specific challenge you're struggling with, leave a comment. I'm happy to answer, or I'll even make a video on it.